Hey guys, so I found this pretty interesting article today. It says 5 reasons why I'm glad I'm not a PC gamer. So I'm a pretty heavily invested PC gamer. I have over 3,300 games on Steam, various games on other platforms, a pretty beastly PC, and I do play games on consoles every so often. So I thought I'd be qualified enough to go through this article and either agree or disagree with this author, and maybe this will be informative to those who are on the fence about buying a gaming PC or not. So the first point he makes is pricing. So he basically says here that consoles are cheap and that gaming PCs are far too expensive. And I will have to agree with him on this. Xbox Ones, PS4s, and Wii U's are between $200 and $300, which is extremely cheap compared to building your own gaming PC, which is between $600 and $900. And especially to those who are on a budget or kids who have trouble saving up money, spending $600 and $900 on a PC is kind of ridiculous. But if you have the money, PC is definitely the way to go. I will also have to say that instead of replacing your PC every few years, most PC gamers just replace certain parts. So for example, like with a console, like an Xbox One, for example, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a new Xbox One like next year or the year later, a new Xbox that you're going to have to spend like $400 to $500 on. With a gaming PC, instead of replacing your whole PC every few years, you just have to replace one individual part. So if I wanted to get, say, better graphics, I can just buy a AMD RX 480 or NVIDIA 1060, which are cards that just released for $200 and $250. And what I can do is I can take out my old graphics card, I can sell it on eBay or Craigslist for like $100 or however much it's worth, and then I can buy the new graphics card, pop it into my computer, and I basically have a brand new next generation computer, which can play all the newest, greatest games at the highest settings. So that's kind of like the benefits of PC compared to consoles, and that's also why consoles are generally more popular, just because they're cheaper. And I will say that console games are typically more expensive than PC games, but I don't know, it depends on where you shop, so I'm just going to keep on going. So repairing. So this is a really stupid point he makes. He basically says that there are more parts in a PC, so it's more likely that a PC is going to break down. This is not true. There are just as many parts in a console, and consoles are small form factor, which means there's more heat that builds up, which means they're more prone to overheating. And the more heat that is within your system, the lower the lifespan is of each individual part. So consoles generally break down more often than PCs. So I'm just going to keep on going. Next, who gives a teraflop? Okay, so PC gamers are stuck in a dark cycle of chasing frame rates, and before they know it, they're contemplating on how much a kidney of theirs will cost on the black market because they've got to have their hands on the newest graphics card. So I guess he's trying to argue here that gameplay is more important and that graphics and FPS don't matter on PC. Not sure why he's trying to argue this point because it doesn't make any sense at all. I can't even talk. Console gamers don't even have the option of turning up their graphics at all. Typically, most games on console are on low or medium settings, and their resolution is downscaled quite a bit. On PCs, you don't have to deal with that. You can have access to ultra high-end graphics settings. You can have very high FPS rates, depending on your system, of course. And you, generally speaking, you have a much smoother experience on PC than you do on consoles. And I know this is hard to explain, especially to those who don't have a gaming PC, but playing even old games on a PC just makes the game far more enjoyable. Just seeing the higher like resolution textures, the more details, the better lighting, everything just looks so much nicer, and the game plays so much smoother that it's almost like playing the game for the first time, even if you've already played it in the past on like an Xbox 360 or whatever. When I first got my first gaming PC, I rebought a lot of my console games on PC just because it was so much funner to play the games that I played previously on consoles on PC, just because the higher FPS, better performance, and better graphics. So I don't know what he's trying to say here. Console gamers don't even have the option of getting high graphical settings and such, so they're pretty much at a loss here. They don't even have the option. With PC, you have the option of having higher graphic settings if you are willing to pay for the parts that will give you those options. So anyways, let's keep on going. Arrogance. The PC master race says it all, doesn't it? What is he trying to say here? The PC master race continues waiting at every corner to jump out at an unsuspecting console gamer, throwing specs and claiming "witness me," while the poor console gamer wonders what fresh hell they've walked into as they're trying to exit. Okay, so he's trying to say here that PC gamers are arrogant, and I guess they're not as friendly as console gamers. And I wouldn't say that's completely true. It's kind of like saying, well, it's like this: PC is certainly the best place to play games on, like no doubt. There's no reason to play games anywhere else if you have a gaming PC. And I guess console gamers feel left out, and since console gamers generally don't have the money to afford gaming PCs, they look up to PC gamers and they're just like, he's just some rich snob. Who cares about PC gaming? PC gaming sucks. I'd rather save money on consoles. So it's kind of hard not to have arrogance here. It is the better platform. There's no arguing that. It's kind of like having a sports car and then some other guy with like a cheapo like used car comes along and says, "Oh, you spent money on a sports car. I can drive to the same place with my car." And I mean, I guess that's true, but you're gonna have a worse experience. So let's just keep moving. That was kind of a stupid point. Gameplay seems secondary. For PC gamers, it's all about measurements and the specs. Wait, what? Okay, so basically here he's trying to say that PC gamers have a harder time having fun with games because they're too worried about specs and frame rates and graphics. That's completely untrue. PC gamers care about gameplay and how fun the game is just as much as console gamers. And I would have to argue that PC gamers probably play games or play a more variety of games than console gamers. Most console gamers, they tend to pick up only a few games a year. Generally Call of Duty, maybe some other shooter, some exclusive, and some new game like Destiny or something. And they play those games for like 100 hours, and then when they're done with them, they sell them back to GameStop and they buy something else like Assassin's Creed. He says Assassin's Creed in this article. And I don't know, on PCs, most PC gamers, they have a huge variety of games that they play from. Most people on Steam have hundreds of games to pick from, and they like to hop around different ones and have new and different experiences. Console gamers are okay with the same experience and repetitively playing the same game, but I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to say here. I'm kind of rambling on now. This video is getting quite long, so I'm probably going to end it here. I just want to go through some of the points. And just to clear this up a little bit, I'm trying to think how to say this concisely. PC gamers care just as much about gameplay, graphics, performance as console gamers do. Console gamers tend to think that graphics and FPS and performance don't matter. It's all about the gameplay. It's true to an extent, yes. A game can be fun, even if it has the worst settings or the worst graphics imaginable. But I mean, why wouldn't you want to have higher graphics if you can afford it? On the other side of things, console gamers do get the cheaper end of the deal. They don't really spend that much on consoles, and I mean, if they trade in their games, it's really not that expensive to play games on consoles. One thing I would also like to say is that console gamers have to pay a subscription fee to play online, and PC gamers don't, which generally costs between $40 to $50 a year, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. You do get free games with that, so it kind of offsets the balance. What else? I guess that's it. I mean, it's up to you who wins here. I think the biggest point from this entire article is just the pricing. If you can afford a gaming PC, get a gaming PC. If you can't afford it, get a console. Both have pretty good experiences. One thing I forgot to mention though, this may just be a personal note, but I think consoles have a more social experience. That may just be my experience though. I think more people talk on consoles than they do on PCs. Generally speaking, in multiplayer games, people are either talking through Skype or they're just typing text messages in the chat box, and I think that kind of takes away from the game sometimes. It's really nice to hear people talk on shooters and stuff, especially in intense multiplayer like team-based games. But yeah, that's about it. I guess another point I would have to say is that on PC, popular games that come out typically don't last as long as they do on consoles. Like, for example, Call of Duty or games like Titanfall or what other new release? Probably like Doom. They generally last about a month before the servers start dying out and the population goes way down. And on consoles, you can find games pretty much for at least 6 months. I know for games like Halo, there's always games to find, and Call of Duty on consoles, you can always find a game. On PC, the servers die down really fast, and the population kind of dries up because people on PC like to play different games, and they don't like being stuck on the same game for too long. It gets repetitive, but console gamers are more apt to deal with the repetition, and they don't know anything else, so they keep playing the same game for as long as they can. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna end this video here. Again, it's up to you. What you think about this article or about the points he makes. I do think sometimes PC gamers do feel entitled and kind of rub it into console gamers' face, but it's really not fair. It's all about your budget and how much you can afford to spend. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video and have a nice day.